Hello, friends, and welcome to the podcast for Tuesday, February 13, 2018. Is Social Security a killer? Two researchers, Maria D. Fitzpatrick of Cornell University, Timothy J. Moore of the University of Melbourne, have analyzed mortality rates in the United States and declared Social Security to be deadly, especially for men. Fitzpatrick and Moore noticed that many older Americans, but disproportionately men who retired at age 62, are affected by sudden increased rates of death. Why is Social Security the suspected killer, with a couch in the living room? About one-third of Americans immediately claim Social Security at age 62. 10% of men retire in the month they turn 62. The numbers show there's a 2% increase in mortality rates at age 62 in the country. Fitzpatrick observed, over the 34 years we studied, there were an additional 13,000 to 27,000 excess male deaths within 12 months of turning 62. Imagine that, a female prof who thinks there have been an excess of male deaths. Now, she blames the increased mortality on the retirement, as retirees, she said, tend to withdraw from life and no longer see the point in engaging, unquote. I am personally offended with the suggestion that we retired geezers are also slackers. The bottom line, says Fitzpatrick, is that the retirement may be bad for the health of men, particularly for men who retire at the relatively early age of 62. Well, this is all part of that conspiracy to draw me out of retirement, which I've not found to be stressful, sedentary, empty, meaningless, disengaging, or any of those things friends and other psychiatrists say to try to convince me that retirement is bad for me. Only my brother Ray told me retirement is bliss, and he's right so far. I'm not trying to rub it in, and I may not be able to for long anyway, but don't let any pointy-headed head doctors talk you out of retirement if you're ready. Now, if you're not ready, that's another story altogether. First is the truth. I'll be speaking to the Hendersonville Rotary Club next Wednesday morning, and I've decided to talk about the first guiding principle in Rotary International's four-way test that helped a Rotarian rescue his beleaguered business back in the Great Depression. It's a guiding principle that knows no equal, and it can rescue businesses, relationships, even countries if it were allowed to work. I look forward to talking with people who are bonded to each other by that principle and reminding them how important it is, with a few recent examples from my own experiences. The first time you tell the truth, even when you know the wrath it will bring down upon you from your spouse, maybe even from some of your closest friends, or maybe your customers, it is extremely uncomfortable, and there will be consequences, which is why I never even tried it until I became a mature adult. Well, an adult anyway. But when you live through those consequences, and you never again have to live with the lie that you could have told instead, and you never have to worry about protecting that lie from getting out, it sets you free from the much more harmful effects of a lie discovered. First, is it the truth? You can find at least 20 Bible verses and, of course, one of the 10 Commandments that command us not to lie. But that guy on the other shoulder, he's going to try to convince you the truth will drive away everything that matters to you, love, friendship, prosperity, and you don't deserve that because you're a good person who can be trusted most of the time. But when people learn to trust you to tell the truth all of the time, and you live up to that reputation, the rewards are incomparable. And the friends or customers or radio ratings you lost along the way will seem so inconsequential that you'll wonder why you ever worried about them in the first place. And the old and new friends that you will have will make your life better than you ever dared to imagine if you were ever routinely hiding from the truth. If you're lucky, you'll fall in love with the truth early in life, but early or late, it never fails to love you back after it first administers the punishment you deserve. Before I ever visited a Rotary Club when I started my talk show career 21 years ago, I committed to telling the audience what I believe, never what they want to hear, and to only give my endorsement to businesses I believe would live up to the promises I made on their behalf. I look forward to sharing with my Rotary friends just how many blessings my strong faith in first is it the truth have showered on my own career and life. Now, there are some truths that one cannot always discuss completely and publicly until the time is right, because you need to discuss them first with friends who have earned a right to know first. Example, when I was in the Air Force and the Vietnam POWs were coming back through Travis Air Force Base, and I was an information specialist working with the media covering that return. I took a call from a big news talk radio station in San Francisco asking about one of the released POWs who was a patient in the base hospital. I had information that had been authorized for release, but this particular information was authorized prematurely because not all of the patient's family had been notified that he had his leg amputated in the base hospital, something they learned from me, along with the rest of the public. Not cool. Now, my information is nothing like that, quite the opposite, maybe, and after I've informed all of the necessary friends and family, I'll figure out how and when to tell everybody else. For now, I'll simply decline to confirm or deny any rumors that are bound to leak out, regardless of how much truth the rumors might contain. And that's the podcast for Tuesday, February 13th, 2018. Don't forget, when in Nashville, tip the band. I'm Ralph Bristol, at your service.